Hello everyone, TGIF, happy Friday. Thank God, it's been a week, hasn't it? Anybody else? I don't know. It was just a long one. I'm glad it's over. It's nice to see everybody. I'm Steve, Mark's at work, and this is SmokeySteveAndMarc, so if you're new, welcome, and if you're one of the folks who's just coming back, welcome back. Please forgive my grasp of the English language today. Like I said, I'm a little overtired. It's been a bit of a long week, and my pronunciation, diction, might not be all that it could be. But still wanted to film, so here I am. So today I want to talk a little bit about body acceptance, obesity, being fat, accepting yourself, hating your body, loving other people's bodies more than your own, things like that. And it kind of crept into my mind because I was thinking, and I don't talk too much, I would say shit, on like Foodie Beauty, Chantal, and I don't really say anything about Amber Lynn. I think I did a video where I split attention between her and Chantal. But as far as their weight and their appearance and how one does or doesn't affect the other. I've been overweight or obese more of my life than I've been an average weight or that I've been thin. So most of my experiences and interactions with people in the world have been as a fat person. And that kind of shaped and formed how I react to people, how I notice how people react to me. And there's just a couple observations that I had had. So I did take some notes again because I didn't want to be just skipping all over the place, though I may be anyway. So by any measure at this point, my health is in a better spot. I know, we all do. Okay. My blood pressure is in a good range. I'm able to be active now in my arthritis. I have arthritis in both hips from being fat for so long. Barely hurts. Like on a 1 to 10, it's like a 2. Mark has a much worse scenario than I do, and most people who have arthritis, I think, probably do. Mine's, I would say, mostly in name only for when I get an ache or a pain. My lipids are good. That's all fine. So by any other measure, the weight loss has been successful. It's made me healthier. So what is my dissatisfaction with it? Well, I'm bashful. And I think I've been bashful because I always had a body that I thought was completely unacceptable to be seen by anyone, in front of anyone. I was trying to remember the last time I took my shirt off in public. And fat, thin didn't really matter because if I wasn't fat, I had loose skin and that embarrassed me too. The last time I took my shirt off, it is 2019, right? I think, was 2006. And I went to a pool with my friend in Hatboro, Pennsylvania. I can tell you when. It was a beautiful sunny day. It was actually quite hot. And I took my shirt off to go swimming. So that was 2006. Prior to that, it was 2001 at Cape May in New Jersey. And I took my shirt off for 1 day to go to the beach, and I got a wicked sunburn. Because prior to that, I had never taken my shirt off in public at all. So essentially, I've only done it twice. Mark and I have been in a relationship for 5 years, and only within the last year have I started taking my shirt off when we're intimate. So if that gives you any kind of a measuring stick, how uncomfortable I've felt, and sometimes apparently still do feel in my skin, there's your benchmark. So, I mean, I guess I just still feel kind of fat. And is fat a feeling? Beyond, this feels like fat, if I'm holding on to fat. Is fat an emotion? I mean, when you say you feel fat, almost everyone knows what you mean. But what does it mean, really? I mean, to me, fat means, if I say I feel fat, it means I feel like I'm in excess. Like I don't know, taking up too much space. Or that I'm disgusting, like I ate too much. Or I feel bloated. Sometimes it's a physical feeling I'm describing, and sometimes it's like an emotion that I'm describing, that I'm just entirely too much. There's any number of things I would use it for. And I don't think, that's the textbook definition of fat, but it's got all these other assigned meanings to it. And I think because I've been fat, and always had a warped idea of myself that was tied into being overweight, which ties into appearance for many of us, my whole idea of the word fat is screwed up. It's got like 10, it's like, what is it? It's probably a racist lie or something, but Eskimos have like 20 words for snow, you know, to describe it. I feel like I have 20 different definitions of fat. None of them are good. And they're all about me. And they're all true, and they're all awful, you know, whatever. So even if I was, you know, losing weight and my body was, you know, not heavy anymore and my health is in a good spot, there's still a number of things that I was still unhappy with. The loose skin being the biggest one of them. Now, this is something a little candid, because I don't talk about this one too much, but I've always carried a lot of weight in my chest when I was a kid. And kids can be very attentive and notice things. And when you're the smart, effeminate, fat kid, you're kind of an easy target, and I was. And I used to get picked on for that a lot, that I was, you know, busty. And that stuck. It still stuck. It stuck later because even when I had lost the weight, I had deflated, but the skin didn't pull back. And I had been thin for about 6 years at average weight or low weight, and even then the skin still didn't pull back. At my lowest weight ever as an adult, things had collapsed. It was like fried eggs on a nail, I guess maybe you would describe it. That was the appearance. So I was still really self-conscious of it, and I had a couple people I was in relationships with comment on it, usually like snidely. I mean, it was never, okay, I can appreciate that no one's going to say, I love your loose skin. All right, I'll give anybody that. But to be insulting, well, that seemed a little unnecessary. So there's that. Now, let's say I can push past my, you know, misgivings about my body. The next thing that I get worried about is the hair. You know, I'll tell you guys straight up sometimes that I'll wear the hat because I'm having like a bald day and I don't like the way my hair looks. Seems like lately it's going faster. And I know that wearing hats, excuse me, can exacerbate baldness. I don't have that much hair left anyway. What I'm basically going to have is sideburns and that little bit in the neck that's still going to be there. I started going gray when I was like 19 too. So, you know, so then I would fixate on that. And then if I can get myself off of that, I go to my teeth. I had braces for 4 years, and I had them well into college. And I should have worn my retainer. Everyone should wear their retainer if you have braces. Don't not do that. Because they had told me then, you know, in 20, 30 years, if you don't wear it, your teeth are going to go back. And I thought, I'm 19. I can't even drink yet. Look how... And now it's been that long, and they're starting to turn. And appearance-wise, I don't like them, but I look for flaws when I look at any part of my body, and that includes my teeth. And there's a chip in the front of one of them, and I got that when I was drunk. I pulled a beer mug way too fast, too close to my mouth, and hit one of my teeth. I'm missing teeth in the back. I had to have a couple repaired because I used to have an eating disorder, and I was bulimic, and 3 of them had to be totally capped and crowned. 1 had to be reconstructed, and then I just have spaces in the back too where there's just no teeth at all. Essentially, they just crammed the teeth I had with the braces to the front of my mouth, and there's not much to chew with in the back. So I try to hide it a little well. I don't usually do big toothy grins for that reason. It's not because I'm not happy or don't want to smile. It's I don't feel comfortable usually smiling. And then the last thing that only came up now that I can see it is having knock knees. All of a sudden I've noticed. And I did another loose skin video and I showed you. Like, it's not severe, but I see it. And when I wear shoes, my shoes wear down unevenly. My right shoe will wear down in the heel at like an angle like this because my leg is crooked, because my knee is crooked, because my hip is crooked. And, you know, not only is that a physical thing that kind of, you know, sends some pain this way and that way, and ruins your shoes in a weird way, but it also makes me feel like that's unattractive. Now, having said that, there are some beautiful, beautiful people who are knock-kneed, particularly women. Beyonce, Lady Gaga, Jennifer Hudson. There's that one male actor who's knock-kneed, and he's not too bad looking either. So that's not a deal breaker. But like anything with being self-conscious, it looks great on you, just not on me. Like, did you ever meet, maybe you're, you know, maybe you're overweight, maybe you're not. But, and maybe you like your body and maybe you don't. But I remember being thin, like 160 or so. I think I was in college. And one of my friends was 5'8", female, and about 240 pounds. And I remember thinking I'd rather look like her than me. And the reason why is, and I remember thinking, well, she has a better shape than I do. She's curvy. And not that I'd want to look, if I were a woman, I'd want to look like her. Let's not go down the trans trail because that's not part of what we're talking about. But she was comfortable in her skin. That's what I was jealous of. That's what I wanted. I didn't want to feel like a freak in my own body. I felt like a freak in my body for years, and I thought getting thin would fix it. And then I just found other shit wrong in other areas. I can get a compression shirt and a pair of, I used to shrink wife beaters really small and then put them on, and it was like Spanx, kind of. It would hold my chest up and it would pull my stomach up. It's hard to dance, it's hard to breathe in that. And then I discovered compression shirts. Forget it. I had put one on one time. I could barely breathe. Barely breathe. I could pose in a photo with one on and maybe look okay, but I couldn't wear one out. I would take 10 steps and just die, I think. So I would, again, always find a reason to be dissatisfied. If it wasn't the skin, it was the hair. If it wasn't the hair, it was the this. So what is the deeper thing behind all that? Well, I've been in therapy off and on since I was in the womb. Really since I was about 18, and I'm 37. So more than half my life, I've been working on different issues relating to that. If I had a saint, it would be Our Lady of Perpetual Dissatisfaction. Just, I don't know. And I think it did occur to me while I'm in a relationship with someone. And when I met Mark, I was at my heaviest. For anyone who's not in the loop, you can find the video. I might link it. Mark and I met in rehab. And in rehab, they feed you like pigs. And I already went into rehab overweight. And I was obese. Like, I was probably in the weight range, BMI-wise, that I would have qualified for a gastric bypass at that point. I was 290, I think, by the time I left. So that's the way I met Mark at. So I told myself anything lower than that must look good to him. So I wasn't pressuring myself too hard to be, thin. This was more for me than it was for him, this whole weight loss journey. But he liked me no matter what, so that wasn't really it. And then who am I trying to look good for anyway? Well, it's not even about looking good, it's about feeling like I look good. And it's like that them with the capital T or the they with the capital T, whoever they are, whatever their opinion is. Somewhere along the way, I was just sucking up approval from other people to decide if I was approved, if I was acceptable or not. So having like none of that to go on, I feel almost like directionless. It's like, am I acceptable? Am I good enough? Am I this? Am I that? And being in a relationship, we give that back and forth to each other. So I have reassurance that I'm acceptable, I'm attractive, I'm a good this, I'm a good that. And he's honest. If I'm a bad this or a bad that, I hear that too. That's relationships though. That's discourse. But I don't know. It just comes and goes sometimes. It's not here all the time. I don't sit around the house when I'm home alone and stare into a mirror and cry. That's not, how I'm spending my TGIF. But at the same time, there are fleeting moments where I look in the mirror and it's almost like seeing a ghost. It's like I don't even see anything. I feel like I'm like constantly unrecognizable to myself because my weight shifts so often. And then my hair fell out and I shaved my head. And then all of a sudden when I lost weight, I had like a droop here, which oddly enough doesn't bother me that much. And I had braces, then I didn't. And then I was obese and then I wasn't. And then I feel like I've changed appearance so many times that what I see looking back in the mirror never kind of matches what my last memory of myself kind of looked like, if that makes any sense. It probably doesn't. But it's like, bottom line, I don't recognize myself when I look in the mirror, and I don't see what other people see. And that's like at the core of body dysmorphia. It's one of the things that kind of comes along with it. I don't see myself accurately. I don't see what other people see. I still see fat when I look in the mirror. I still see problem areas. And I didn't invent this. I mean, show of hands if you can think of a body part of yours that you don't like. I'm not trying to normalize the problem that I have that I'm talking about. I'm not trying to say that everybody hates something about themselves, so I'm not weird for feeling this way. This is specific to some of us and not everybody. But I think it's much more common and too easily accepted by people. I think there's plenty of people that on a mild level don't like part of their body or something about their body and kind of write it off as, oh, well, everyone does. Like sitting in a group, and whether it's women or men, it doesn't matter. Believe me, guys in the locker room at Planet Fitness are flexing in the mirror, and it's not for themselves, it's for each other. They want to show off, they want approval, they want someone to say, great lats, this, that, the other. They take tons of selfies of themselves, and they keep muscle men in the gallery on their phone. And they're not gay. Believe me, they're not. Most of them anyway. But women will do this to each other too. I've seen it. Someone complains about their thighs, and then they say, oh, you have the perfect thighs, but I hate my stomach. Well, you have the perfect stomach. I hate my stomach, though. But you have, like, the perfect body. I just love the way you look. Oh, I hate my body. No, you have the perfect... And kind of goes in a circle. And if, God forbid, a woman has some self-esteem or doesn't participate in that kind of bullshit discussion, everyone thinks she's the bitch. Everyone thinks she's the bitch. So, yeah, it's not a crime to feel good about your body. I think that should be the normal. I think that's something that those of us who struggle with it should aspire to. And on a good day, I'm there with you. Not every day's a good day. Today isn't a particularly bad day, which is probably why it feels okay to kind of talk about it. I will say my reality with this is that it's hit or miss. It's some days, but not every day. It does give me a little bit of impairment when it comes to social activities. Again, I've only taken my shirt off twice in 36 years. Almost 37 years. So that does let you know that there's some things that I'm not still comfortable doing. There's a little bit of impairment. There's things that I'm reluctant to do. So, you know, it is what it is. It's a work in progress. I'm still getting used to this body after I lost a bunch of weight now, too. There's clothes I try on that are too big that I can't imagine why, forgetting that I lost weight. There's shirts that are too big. I was like, these clothes fit not long ago. But anyway, sorry about that. I had to stop for a second. I was really long-winded, so I'm going to try to cut this rather short. But yeah, today we have some clothes that fit, which is good. It is the weekend, which I'm looking forward to. Y'all know what weekends mean. No underwear. And I put some tasty stuff in my coffee Saturday, Sunday, so I'm looking forward to tomorrow morning. So thank you all for watching. Please do subscribe. Give us a thumbs up. You can follow Mark and I on Facebook at SmokeySteveAndMarc. Send us a friend request. You can also follow us on Instagram at SmokeySteveAndMarc. Make sure to hit the bell so you get all the alerts. We're good for a video a day, usually, sometimes two. And have a happy Friday, and we'll catch up with y'all soon. Bye.